On top of what Hillary has said to us, what I'm hearing from my moles on the Hill is that the House Budget Committee marked up a $4.3 trillion reconciliation bill. That was Saturday, I guess. And all they did was they included the marks from all the other stakeholder committees. That's all there was. There was no policy analysis and certainly no open public hearings about the policies. So that's $4.3 trillion. Now, we don't know whether they're scoring entitlements, for example, over 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. No idea. So this may not be a gimmick-free total. Others on the outside, committees for budget priorities or whatever their name is, they do a good job. They're thinking 5 to 5.5 trillion. What I do know is 4.3 trillion from the House Budget Committee is higher than 3.5 trillion. All right. Then I'm told House leaders will meet with Senate leaders and try to come up with some kind of compromise that will pass both houses. They're supposed to do that this week. I don't think there's any chance in the world. Insiders are telling me Joe Manchin's going to have a big seat at that table. It's mostly going to be leadership people, not budget people. So we'll see how that works. Some additional thoughts on this whole thing. Inside betting is there's no way the Senate-House reconciliation discussion is going to be completed or resolved this week. No way. So that means Speaker Pelosi may not make good on her promise to the so-called House moderates to pass the infrastructure bill this Thursday. They could, but there'll be loud yapping from the far-left progressives about all their government welfare programs and entitlement spending, which, of course, none of that has workfare or education requirements, but I guess that's a different subject. So I'd say the Speaker's got a problem here. Now, I'd also say she's a tough infighter, and she's not going to vote on anything until she has the votes on the floor to win, so we'll stay tuned. But it looks to me like this here is going to be a long, drawn-out process. Now, let me turn to some basic arithmetic. Senator Joe Manchin has said 1 to 1.5 trillion on the spending side. He said that publicly. Now, correct me if I'm wrong about this, but that's way lower than the 3.5 trillion media bill, I'm calling it, because the media keeps touting 3.5 trillion, and still way lower than the 4.3 trillion coming out of the House Budget Committee. So I'm just saying, he's at 1 to 1.5. The generic term is 3.5, and the House Budget Committee, I'm told, is 4.3 trillion. So that looks like a big problem to me. And, you know, folks, I'm really good with these problems because I don't want any of it to pass. None of it. Save America, just kill the bill. But then there's one of Joe Biden's big lies that none of this is going to cost anything. Remember that from his presser on Friday? And Madam Psaki doubled down on it today. But the Joint Tax Committee has priced 40-plus tax hikes, however many there are. They've come in at $2 trillion of revenues. So now we have another arithmetic problem. Stay with me on this. Besides the Manchin problem, $2 trillion in revenues is lower than $3.5 trillion in the media spending, or lower still than the $4.3 trillion from the House Budget Committee. So besides Mr. Biden's big lie about no cost, I would suggest there's no pay for. I mean, even in the D.C. swamps terms, there's no pay for. Now, again, mind you, I don't want a nickel higher in revenues, or I want revenues because of growth and lower tax rates. But the fact is, the Laffer curve shows that rising taxes will block incentives and depress the economy. So all these tax hikes are going to yield far fewer revenues than government static analysis predicts. But there's another angle in this wonderful story. On Friday, Senator Sinema told a local Arizona newspaper that she opposes the corporate income tax hike. Whoa, she also opposes raising the personal income tax. Now, that is my kind of gal. And I don't know what the Democratic leaders think they're going to do with her. In fact, it's kind of a dynamic duo. Joe Manchin doesn't want to spend, and Ms. Sinema doesn't want to tax. Now, that's like the old Democratic Party of John F. Kennedy, or even Bill Clinton's second term. Completely different than today's woked-up class warfare, I hate business and investment, big government socialist Dems. Completely different. Finally, just one last word on revenues. Our pal Dan Clifton has a report out that shows federal tax revenues are booming. Booming. As a share of GDP, federal tax revenues through the second quarter are 19.3% of GDP. Now, that is nearly the all-time high of the past 61 years. During that period, the average federal tax revenue grab of GDP from 1960 to today averages 16.9% of GDP. So you think 19.3 is enough to give Uncle Sam? It's just a cat's whisker from the all-time high revenue share of the economy? By the way, that's coming from your pockets and mine. I think it's enough. I think it's enough. We don't need more taxes. The problem here is spending, not revenues. Now, finally, I'm going to make one last point, because I nearly forgot it, don't mean to. The $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill from the Senate, remember that? Well, that has a $250 billion something deficit, scored by the CBO in deficit. In other words, the pay-fors did not pay for. Listen, folks, all this is your Washington. You voted for them. I didn't. How do you say it? You reap what you sow, or you make your bed and you have to sleep in it, or maybe it's just going to be buyer's remorse. Enough already. Enough already from me. That's my riff this evening.